This DJ is so funky, man.
AirPod 3, 2, 1. Activate.
This is the RDDC podcast.
Welcome to the Real Double Dose channel. This is your host Lex, coming to you straight from the heart, where the talk is real and the vibe is always live. I'm happy to be here with you all again for RDDC Familians. And as always, you can reach us at realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com for any motivational tips. I'm already getting tongue-tied. Inquiries, so forth, comments. You want to check out some of the cool little items we have on the apparel store, amongst other cool t-shirts that they have, and that would be on the right hand column of the site itself. We also have just inspirational things. You can reach us here or iTunes, Stitcher Radio, I believe, and TuneIn, and we'll be also rolling out our Facebook page and our YouTube soon. So it's a whole lot of channels that you can find us, so we can definitely radiate to your signal. As always, that's realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com and realdoubledosechannel at yandex.com. That's yandex.com. You can leave your questions as you have been, and we appreciate all the things that you've come to us for. Some of them we broadcast, some of them are more of a personal level that you've requested, and we just appreciate all your support and all those who are out there, because this is a movement to empower ourselves into the infiniteness that we have. And the Food for the Spirit book, everything is ready to roll out. It just needs one editing process, and it will be out for that, with the visualization books as well as other goodies. So I hope you're ready for those things too, and you can catch that out in the link at the bottom of the description at the Blogspot, and we'll be also posting links on here as well further down the line. But without further ado, I just want to get back to all of us and you and me and whoever's listening to this, even if it's for a couple seconds beyond the intro. I'm just glad and happy and blessed to be here with you all. And I know that igniting the hearts and the souls of the world is something that we all do, and definitely from the energy that I feel from you all. So let's get back to where we are. And drum roll. We could do that, but Anthony's a little away, from me right now. He's about 20 minutes out, I think. So, we'll just leave that alone for the side effects and sound effects. But you're here with me, and along with some guest speakers that will be coming, which is wonderful. I think that's a little bit more of a treat for us as well, just to give the insights about life. And I was wondering, so many things that could come about this segment, but at the same time, I've been kind of chomping at the bit for this, and I know some of you have been too. And I want to get to the hashtag your now, right? Not you are, your. It's YOUR now, okay? Now. Wah. Okay. We had to put the emphasis on that. But we do have Angela over here. So that's great. But you're now. We collaborated about this. We had a conversation about it. And it's basically going to the forms of, having that conversation with those inside of you, those thoughts and intelligent questions inside of yourself, and the feelings that evolve from around that. So, where are you now? Where have you been? Where are you going? Right? And I'm getting to the metaphor of quote this, but you're now, that's who I used to be. This is who I am. That's what I mean by you're now. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. When certain conversations come up, or certain people you may meet in life, we all do. We may have met them in preschool, high school, elementary, whatever, or they may have seen us in a downtime in our lives. One of the people we know that is really close to us in this group, she's had a very bad past, on her level of what she calls bad, I guess. And it's different for everybody in life. And she definitely has met some people out there when she had a very strong drug addiction. And several years later, she has turned her life around, become more of different things out there. I believe she's a teacher, actually. I'm not sure what grade level, but at the same time, she's changed her life around. But when she seemingly goes around town, I guess she bumps into these people or something like that. Some of them, the ones and twos, and she doesn't remember them too much because her life has been so drastically changed. But they seem to want to cling on to who she was, not who she is. And that was a conversation we brought up. And for all of us, take a page from my book, for example. There's different things that went on to where I used to be a person that really, I still pop off a little bit now, but I used to be very, on point. Like I used to be very aggressive, and it wasn't a physical aggressive. It was more like very defensively aggressive. Or I still get a little bit of it from time to time, but it's not as strong as it used to be. Or I used to have this thing I used to say, or a certain car I used to do, or go out to drink with my friend over at the bar every once in a while, or go out to the club with her for every once in a while. But I was the quiet clubber. I was not the person that go home with 20 men. I was more the person that get my drinks, and then go home, or maybe stop by a nice restaurant and eat something at 2 a.m. and just go on home. I was that kind of way, but I still stayed out till 2, 3 a.m, every once in a couple weekends or something like that. But that was who I was. That was the life I was living at that time. See, we're all going to go through transitions in life. We're all going to have those hills and those climbs and those moments to where we are. Now, even if it was a month ago, well, dude, I don't understand. You used to go out there and go, smoke a spliff with me, and now all of a sudden 30 days later, you're a changed man. I just don't believe it. Well, they don't have to. You're not here to convince anyone but yourself. And you're not even here to really superly put that convincing on yourself, but to embrace it, to the fact that you're self-consciously convinced of who you have transformed to be. And we'll be getting to that segment of Two Wolves a little in depth. We had touched base on it previously before, I think, this segment, but that's the whole concept of what I'm trying to get to. What makes them, okay, let's do a little analogy example here. If you're speaking to them, what makes you think I have to prove or change anything to you? The whole thing is, you spend so much time convincing people or telling people or proving yourself, even unwillingly, willingly, unknowingly, knowingly, that it gets so tiring to the point where you just feel like you're breaking apart little by little. Even if you told them, hey, I wrote this great story about a bear cub that went to the sea and ate some fish. Oh, you did? Well, what does it look like? What was the chapters about? What are you going to name the book? What does the cover look like? Oh, well, when did you put that out? Are you going to put that out? Are you sure you wrote that book? That's none of their business. You're just sharing something that you feel happy about. When you have those light suckers that literally try to suck your light out, even for a moment. Some of it's inquisitiveness. Now, don't get the innocent ones wrong. And some of it's just downright, they can't believe anything. Like I said before, they can't believe it for themselves, so they want to take it from everyone else. Like, that's what it is. And deep side, they're envious and they're jealous, and they're not feeling as good as they could be because they choose not to be. But the whole thing is that was who I was. This is who I am. Who you're looking at now. I don't care if you saw me a week ago. If I tell you I don't eat apples anymore, that's what I live my life by. That's not what you choose to see me as. If you want to see me as someone that is you, that's fine. That's where you are. You are still where I was. You're were. You're not are and is. There's a difference. You are going to the store. That is the right store I want to go to. You were going to the store. That was the store I went to. You see the difference between the two? So at the same time, I'm very extra passionate about this because I it's like non-believers. This is the whole point. In my concept, in my personal opinion, I don't understand this. How people could say, well, I don't believe in God. But at the same time, it's like you believe in the trees and the air and the universe being there and these stars align. Regardless of if you even saw the freaking air or clouds being God, there's still something that exists higher than you. Okay. Same thing for that. Or I believe in God. Okay. We're just using this for an example. But at the same time, I don't believe that you could write a children's book with 10 pages. To me, it's completely ludicrous how they can believe that. Or oh, I don't understand how they can vacuum air out of a bag and smash your clothes down. I don't understand how we can put an airplane in the sky, but yeah, I just don't get it. And those people are dense, and that's just who they want to be. That's who they are. And unfortunately, that's something that's going to get them a lot slagged off in life instead of having open possibilities and expansions of things. I'm not saying going on top of a roof and trying to skydive is the best way to see every open possibility. There's common sense about gravity. There's common sense about everything if you educate yourself even a little bit. And now we're open to the fundamentals of every aspect of educating yourself as much as you can, at least to a certain point. And I'm not saying Google is a replacement for the infinite source of all things, but it is a collaborative whole of a lot of basically a big mind of thoughts and ideas and information and tests and all kinds of things, right? It's that level of what's been going on in our lives down here. It's a kind of a big diary. Go to page 200,000,099 if you want to figure out how to make banana pudding while you're shaving your legs and trying to give, make lunch for your kid and whatever, just randomness. You get it. Anyways, the whole point of that and the whole point of this is that is who I was. This is who I am. That was who I was. This is who I am. You have to reiterate that into yourself over and over and over, and even tell yourself these things. If you want to see yourself away from what you were, if you want to change, you can never see yourself as that again. That is past. Just like you can't go back yesterday and change what happened, you can change any path that you take. If you decide to go back to what you were, I guarantee the moment that you do is going to be 10 times worse than what you remember you was, right? You were. Because at the same time, when you stepped into who you are now and who you were then, and then you go back to who you were then from where you are now and who you are at this moment, it's going to be 10 times worse because your eyes are no longer closed shut. Your mind is open to the things that are waiting for you, and you choose differently. Not saying that you didn't have the choice before, but now the choice is more open for you to comprehend and grasp at your level of understanding. Our levels period. If you want immediate change, and I've seen this for myself, and some things I'm a little slow on, whether calorific intake or whatever, I've done that now. I'm like, if I want immediate change, I can't say, let me wait till next week, Lex. Let's wait till next week, like I've done several hundred times. I'm not going to beat myself down, but at the same time, I look at myself and I'm like, oh, well, let's just start. I had 2,500 calories today. Let me just have one more, just one more slice real quick. It won't hurt anything. I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow comes, oh, I forgot, and the next day. And it's not even about the weight or the calories. It's about me setting boundaries for myself and goals for myself. Whether it be, I want to write a poem every day to myself, and I'm going to make that happen. You have to start making those promises to yourself and coming into terms with keeping those promises. Just because you make a promise or an oath to yourself doesn't mean you can break it whenever we feel like it. That is just as valid as making a promise to our family, our children, anybody, the ones we love. When I say things, I try to make them come to fruition for whoever I say it. Even if I said, I'll give you $50 next Friday, 2 years from now, and it comes, I want to still stick by it regardless if we're friends or not. I would probably pop out of thin air and be like, hey, you know what? Sam, I just wanted to, or Samantha, I just wanted to, call you. I know we don't talk anymore, but here's $50 I owe you. They probably think I was nuts. Like, wait a minute, we have stopped talking for a year and you remember the promise that you told me? Now, I can walk out of that promise and go spend that $50 on something else. I promise you. But at the same time, I'm still to that point now where I'm like, you have to keep your word. Even if it's 70%, at least you're trying to do something for yourself. So now I'm like, you know what? Look, I might have some days where I reach 2,500 calories. I might have some days where I reach only 1,600 calories. But guess what? I'm going to set something to where I'm eating healthier, period, regardless of the calories. And it's not what I'm looking for in the mirror. It's who I'm looking for and feeling inside. I repeat, it's not who I'm looking for in the mirror or validation to the mirror world and what they want to see as a reflectiveness. It's who I'm reflecting myself to be inside. The feeling I get when I'm walking, the feeling on my body, the different kind of feeling I have when I'm in my clothes, just for me, just as it should be in different ways. That is who I was before. Now, almost 4 weeks ago, that's who I was. And every day gets a little bit harder. Sometimes it gets a little bit easier, but that's who I was. And I'm not willing to go back there. So I can't look at it as this is what I'm doing for a few months to go fit into this nice dress that I want so bad. And then I'm going to go back to my crazy, not really calculating what I'm putting in my bowl or my food. You know, it wasn't even the healthy part. It was more like the calories in the part that you're eating. You know, at the same time, it was just, I had to stick by it. Like, this is a lifestyle change. There's going to be some weeks where it's a little bit rough, and there's going to be some weeks where it's a little bit better. We're in a world of temptation, but that is who I was even a little over 3 weeks ago. And this is who I am. This is me now. Who you see now. Whether you've been doing music and talking about it, doing it in the basement, doing it in your friend's house or the garage, that was who I was back then. And now you made it to the point where you can actually go on shows or tours, wherever level you're at. Whether it be to the point where you could only do a first grade painting and now you're at to the point where you're a mini Picasso. That was who you were, and that's who you gravitated to be who you are now. Sometimes, and most all the times, in different ways. Not just pure rebelliousness, but those ways are meant to guide us to where we need to be now. They're meant to mold and shape us to where we are now. If we never had any kind of troubles or downfalls or uphills, how would we know otherwise? How would we know how to survive? How would we know the difficult times, or how to appreciate where we are now in life if you have nothing to be appreciative of? If there's nothing you have to be thankful for, how would you even know what thankfulness means? How would Thanksgiving even exist at that point? Let's just say that for the namesake. How would we know? If we only had a pair of black socks our whole lives, how would we know there was green socks and red socks? If we only wore skirts our whole lives and no one ever invented a pair of pants, how would we know we had pants to wear? How would we know these things? Okay? If people didn't try to do the things they did and have trial and error and who they were and who they are now and the things that are and is, then there would not be in the existence of a future ahead or a future that came. You feel me, people? So all I'm saying is, at the same time we look at it, you can always divide those lines and conquer. That is who I was. Oh, remember when we used to hang out and be this, like, you know, back in the day? Look, I appreciate those days to a certain point, but this is who I am now. It doesn't mean I can't touch base on who I was in order to understand more of who I am. But at the same time, don't see me in that light of who I was, because the more I hang around you and be around who I was, you're going to start changing my who I am. Right? And you say, oh, no, it won't. Yes, it will. Because the more you flock together, let's put it this way. Let's say you have 5 friends that are over here to who I am. The who I am side, these are your 5 or 6 close friends. And the who I was are your 5 friends. I'm not going to say close, but they're close to you in memory. Now you start substituting 2 of those friends from the who I am, and you put 2 of those from the who I was, and you start mingling that around. Start seeing different stuff happen. Right? Just like you change your whole eating plan for me or anybody else, and you start having healthier options and vegetables, guess what? When I start, and I'm thinking about it right now, I'm contradicting myself, but I'm learning patience with some of these. But if you had a whole household start coming in, and your friends that like to tempt you to go eat out of the restaurants and having huge meals and pastas and pizzas and burgers and all kinds of stuff just sitting around you all the time, and then your other friends that had the vegetables sitting around you or the fruits, you start seeing that table pie of those 3 friends that are still the who I ams and the 2 that were. You start seeing that table pile up with more carbs, more things happening, and then the fruit and the vegetables look good, but they're starting to have a little bit of haziness around them. Now, your friends start noticing, well, this is who he is, and we can accept him for who he was, but we only know the I am right now. We only know who he is right now. We don't know that who he was. But obviously from the crowd that they're being around, this is who he was, but we're not interested in who he was. We're appreciative of it, but this is the I am and is. We know this person as is. Then all of a sudden, that 1 or that 3 become 2, and then that 2 becomes 1 of the I ams now, right? We're just using this as example purposes. And then the 4 friends that were the was have came in, and that 1 I am friend is still hanging around, just holding on to the leaf. You're barely calling them, and all of a sudden they're telling you, hey, you changed. And you're thinking to yourself, defense. Well, if you really were my friend, you wouldn't have left. If you really were my friend, if you guys all cared, you wouldn't have left me high and dry. And they're telling you all the while, we never left. You left us. Because we only know who you are right now. We know the trials that you came by, but you're speaking in past tense. We know who you are right now, and that's how you got to us. You got to us from who you were to who you are and who you are right now. You didn't get to us from being who you were to what you was or were. You see what I'm saying, family? That's what I'm saying. So at the same time, when you look at that, before you know it, I'm a food person, okay? I like analogies. We all understand music and food and dance and stuff like that. But you start looking at that table and all of a sudden you see every buffet in the world sitting at your plate. And you see one little carrot and dip platter sitting there with a couple little strawberries on the side. It still looks good, but the rest is hounding you so bad to eat it. And those big, huge pies, it becomes nothing but a small little circle on a big, huge planet. And that's what it means. If you want to elevate yourself, and we all do. Now, you as me and you as I, we, I, they, us, we're all a part of the same one. We're talking to each other here. If we want to elevate ourselves or change, it's not the point of dropping off people that are, they're obsolete now. My life changed. That's not the point of being, hard and preserved and just, completely crazy about not being with the people who were. If those people are on a different journey than you and you're saying, hey, why don't you come be a part of this, find something you love and like, let's be something more evolved, and they choose no, I want to stay over here, I still want to do drugs, or I want to stay over here, I still want to work at this place, or I still want to eat this way, that's fine. I'm going to accept you, I'm going to love you for who you are, but I do not have to accept those things that you're involved in, and I do not have to make them a metaphor for my life or anyone else's I'm connected to. They're going to start thinking you changed from who the I am is to who you were. Like, they think they're so much better. They think that I'm not good enough. The whole thing they never see is they never thought that of themselves. And you start discovering that more about yourself. And then you just tap into it more. That's the only thing you're doing. By nature, you're going to separate from those things. You're going to separate from it. Period. It's like oil and water at that point. I mean, that's the way it is. You're going to separate from those things, because if you're elevating your vibrational frequency and you're raising up these levels and you're expanding yourself and you're seeing so much gratitude and just ambiance of greatness, and those people still want to have a cloud hung around them, whether family, loved ones or not, we can always reach out to them and help them, but it doesn't mean we have to go into the quicksand with them. That's what it means. If you want to stay complacent or they want to stay where they are, be the way you choose to be them. We all have one life to live. We're given that freedom to choose how we want to do it. But remember who you were and who you are. This is who I am today. That was who I was yesterday. Okay, the day before, years ago. That's who I was. Regardless of what it is. That was, you sit around with your friends, have a barbecue. Remember when you used to play in high school? Remember when you used to do this in elementary? Remember when? Not remember that, right? Like, not remember, hey, today you did. Today, right now, you just did. No, it's remember when. Doesn't matter. So at the end of yesterday is history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Tomorrow's the present. That's why they call it a gift, right? Something like that. Yesterday's history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today's the present. That's why they call it a gift. There you go. I forgot who says that quote, but you understand what I'm saying. You can Google it. But at the same time, that's what it is. Like, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, no matter what you went to bed with. Today is the gift, and that's why we are calling it a present and the present. So remember that. Your now is now, right? Your now is when. And it doesn't mean to just forget about those things and those people and those circumstances and those times, those who lifted you up, those who put you down. It doesn't mean to act like it's a race, but remember to separate the negative from the positive and make it a positive, and that negative a positive out of the negative that occurred in your life at those times to bring you to your greatest points. Be your now, because you're in right now. You're listening to this right now. No matter if you listen to this 7 months from now, it's your now. 7 years from now, it's your now. right? The time is now. So whenever you want to have your now, like for me, a couple things I want to get done, I might want that your now to start in a week. Yeah, I'm giving myself another week for some things that I need to get done. But at the same time, at least I'm consciously aware of it at my higher self. At least I'm getting those things done, even slowly and surely. Some things weren't meant to be built overnight, just like Rome. Some things will take some time. But guaranteed, if you stop moving forward to those things will stop moving forward for you and I and all of us. It takes one step at a time, just like the song from Jordan Sparks and many others. That's all you can do. But if you keep stepping forward, the only thing you're going to do is keep moving forward. If you keep stepping backward, eventually, if not right away, you will trip yourself. Maybe you can get up if you fall on your back and you can look up, as Mr. Brown would say. But at the same time, how many times will you fall, and what will you fall into if you keep stepping backwards? So this has been a great, awesome segment. I want you to feel free to leave your comments as usual. It's up to you. You can always leave them for the email support at realdoubledosechannel@yandex.com, like you have been. That's YANDEX.com. I hope you do come over and visit our newly coming up Facebook page. We're going to have a lot of other sponsors that are coming on there with great apparel stores that I've been hearing about with Anthony, and I can't wait to order some stuff from here too and feature some stuff that I'm wearing. But at the same time, that's good for us, because just from you being a part of the family and the code that you send in for or you retrieve, you can get 50% off, 40% off, even 70% off for some of the things that are coming out here. And guaranteed, who wants something that's almost free? That's still wonderful. You know what I mean? So let's get on board with that. So thank you for this wonderful segment. And as always, you can reach us at realdoubledosechannel.blogspot.com and just check out the site itself. And we'll be rolling out with a lot more things. And all I can do is say what we're rolling out with and put them out there to be rolled out with and let you know when it happens. Just keep your now and your insights right now, okay? Keep your mind focused on what you need to do and who you are right now. And even if the pain arises from what you used to deal with, remember, that's only propelling and perpetuating you forward and keeping you strong in the things that you have to do and you were meant to do and you need to do. Maybe someone out there is waiting for what you got to say in your now. But that's only going to happen for the who you are, who I am. It's going to come from a message from who you were, but you living in the who you were and was is definitely far away from your now. So as many times as we can say it, it's the only way to prosper is to keep moving forward. So be the change, feel the passion, and embrace the power of the spirit that is thriving around in you and within you and always for you. We look forward to everything that you are. Thank you for being a part of our family, and we'll be back with you soon.